like you can't push through a certain situation, or like, you know, you feel like something's just holding you back, you know, and no matter what you do, you know, no matter how hard you try, it seems like you can't get over what is really holding you back. So what we kind of call this is an emotional blockage, okay? And the reason why most people don't push through these blockages is because they don't identify them. Now, these emotional blockages could be connected to many different things. It could be connected to, you know, your eating habits. It could be connected to your relationships. It could be connected to money, you know. But the only way you're going to push through these things is if you identify these emotional blockages. So today, you know, I made a decision to, you know, really start getting back into jogging and running again. That's what I, you know, usually like to do. But I was making an excuse. I was, you know, it's kind of cold out here and it's snowing, so I more so like to do the running and the jogging in the spring and summertime. So today, this morning, I made a decision. I will get up, you know, I'll just go out there no matter how cold it is. I'm just gonna, you know, run. So what I usually do is 5 miles, and anybody who's into sports, and I guess you can equate this to anything, but especially physical activity, when you've not done something for a while, it's so hard to really do what you're used to doing. You know, again, you kind of gotta go easy, but this time I was like, you know, I'm doing 5 miles. So during this, you know, I just felt the pain in my chest. My heart was hurting, my chest was hurting, my body was hurting, and everything in me was telling me to give in. But what I kept doing was just kept pushing myself. And what actually happened is, you know, I felt the tears starting to come to my eyes, you know, and I just felt myself, you know, literally about to cry while I'm running because the pain was so intense to me. And what I noticed is that I just let it out, you know, because again, most dudes, you know, especially dudes, we're taught to just hold it in all the time. But this is what I'm getting into. The emotional blockages, the emotional realm is the water element. Okay, so this is what I'm getting at. So, you know, what I realized is when I push through that and I just let it out, you know, mind you, I'm sweating, you know, the tears is coming out, just let it out and said, you know, I'm gonna continue working. What I gained was an abundance of energy, you know, like an abundance of energy that I never felt before in my life. And it just seemed like life was so much clearer. And then I was like, I had to make this video. How to clear emotional blockages. You know, it doesn't matter what the topic is. Just letting it out, crying it out, and exercise because you're sweating it out. Remember, connected to the emotional realm. The emotional realm is the water element. How do you push through the water element? You release. You know, so you release through sweating, or you release through tears. Okay, I know the men out there are like, yo, look, man, I'm not doing no crying or whatever. But I'm not saying full-blown crying. I'm saying, like, if it hurts, you know, you're doing something and it hurts, just let the tears come out. Or you can do it in your own time and nobody got to see you, you know. I was running and people was looking at me like I was crazy, but so I thought I would share that with you, that, you know, it doesn't matter what the topic is. And if you do this, if you know, just imagine, like I said, gaining that energy and just really being able to take things to another level. You know, being able to experience what you've never experienced before, being able to tell your peers and your friends that you overcame something, having your parents proud of you, or your siblings or whatever, or your partner, and just showing them that you're transforming. I believe in transformation. I believe in pushing the human abilities to its max. You know, I believe in freedom. How do we get to that freedom? You know, you got to clear these blockages. So just a quick video. I hope this inspired you guys. Again, and this is the whole reason why I do these consultations, to help people find out what the blockage is. You know, my consultations, www.occulthealing.net. I help people find the blockages, even if it's through astrology, through tarot, or through just life coaching, or just listening. You know, sometimes you just need somebody to listen to you, and you can identify the blockage that's, that's controlling you. And then just imagine what will happen when that's out the way, the success you might receive in whatever you're doing. So contact me, www.occulthealing.net. Thanks to all my supporters. Thanks to everybody that's been rocking with me from the beginning. I'm seeing a new light now, so I'm leaving you a hotep. Namaste and Ashe. One love.